Right. Good afternoon all. Let's put you down here and welcome back to the Cactus Cave. Apologies that it's been so long since the last video. I haven't just been sitting idle. There's been research and planning and things afoot to bring you what will be the next instalment of lovely videos that I have to offer. Right, am I going to give it away in the title? Probably. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to hardtail the Bonnie, and it's going to be the EFI Bonnie as well, which is probably the slightly stupider one to hardtail when you have an EFI one and a carb one at your disposal. But there's kind of two reasons. First one being the EFI one, you know, it's still in that prodigy state. I haven't quite got it where I want to. I love it. I love that kind of more sort of trackery kind of vibe to it, but I love hardtails. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm really into that style of bike. I'm kind of particular about the ones that the Bonneville ones that have been done. Some I do like, some I really don't like, and I can't like the challenge of making an EFI one work. Plus I've spent, you know, time on getting that looking really nice. It's a very clean and nice base for a project. I've got, you know, the wheels I really like on it, and just all those sort of little bits and bobs, which I think kind of just make it the more worthwhile donor bike. Second reason being is I kind of don't have the car Bonnie anymore. It's still in the house, it's still in the shed, it's still within the family, but on the way up to Fenland Choppers last weekend, Jen and I had a lovely weekend riding, and when we got there, unfortunately Jen loves America, but she's always suffered with like 40 miles, above 40 miles on that bike, and she's aching. It's, you know, it's almost like the reverse of someone on a really extreme sports bike who ends up with sore wrists and stuff. She loves the bike, but she just does ache on it, and she was feeling it pretty bad by the time we got to Fenland Choppers. And I said, on the ride back, you can ride the Bonnie back, you know, and she did, and she loved it, and therefore I'm not getting it back. We decided to do a swap, because I can sit on the America all day, you know. I kind of quite enjoy that bike, it's good fun. So yeah, so I'd almost decided to hardtail the Bonnie as a cool project that's going to, you know, be a nice string of videos to watch, and also because I was going to end up with two Bonnies that was slightly similar, although that's all changed now. So I've got kind of more of a cruisery bike and then the hardtail one, but hey ho, doesn't really matter. So yeah, so I've got the America, so there's going to be some, I'll take you around that in a minute. There's some bits and bobs that I'm going to do to it, just to make it, put my own stamp on it a bit more, and a few improvements on stuff that have been irking me for a long time, just haven't got around to doing it. The other Bonnie's pretty much there. Jen's loving it the way it is. We've still got to sort out the clutch chatter issue. That still chatters, which is kind of a known fault. I'm a little bit annoyed. I might even throw up the email. Sent an email to Triumph to say, look, there's loads of different things on the net about this early 2001 clutch chatter. You know, you can go through, if you take the word of everyone on there, different things work for different people. I could end up buying loads and loads of stuff that doesn't actually cure it. What do you guys reckon? And they said, yep, they acknowledged that there was an issue with some of the earlier 2001 bikes. When they got a few thousand miles on them, they started experiencing chatter, and they gave me two parts, like the kind of like the lifter plate bit, I think it is. I can't remember exactly now, but they gave me about 100 quid's worth of parts to change that supposedly will fix it. To which I said, well, as you've acknowledged it was a problem, any chance of getting a bit of a discount or something like that on it, you know, because it's kind of like, you've acknowledged it's a problem, you told me to replace them with your parts, these parts, improved parts. I know it's 16 years down the line, but it's, you know, stand by your product, but they wouldn't do it. So I'm a little bit knocked up about that. You know, it would have been nice to, I'm not expecting it done for free with a bike that down, but it'd be kind of cool to get a bit of a discount on the parts. But hey ho, that's beside the point. So that's the only thing we've got left to do on the other card Bonnie. The America I'll take you around in a minute and just show you a few bits that I've changed already, and a few bits that I'm going to want to do, because there will be a bit of downtime between this project starting proper. The first phase of it, and I'll explain the reasons why I chose to go with the way I'm going to hardtail this. But there's going to be some downtime for about 2 months probably whilst the frame's getting done. So in that time I'll do bits that I'll show you on the America. But yeah, I'll take you around the bike and so you don't have to stare at my ugly mug, and explain to you the decisions I've made and how we're going to start and go about hardtailing the Bonneville. Stay tuned. So there she is, poor old girl, languishing in the corner, not seen a drop of sunshine or tarmac this year, which I feel intensely guilty about. But yeah, let's talk you through what my rough idea originally was with this bike. I've always kind of toyed with the idea of hardtailing it. I've seen a few that I really like. I'll maybe put up a few pictures in a minute of ones that I do like. And I like the way it stands. The wheels, I still love the wheels on this. It's just awesome. Doug at the Devon Wheel Company did a great job on those. There's a few things that I kind of, in my vision of a hardtail Bonnie, I wanted to keep. And number one is the fuel tank. And it kind of goes against that kind of skinny bobbery kind of hardtail look, because it's quite a big fuel tank, particularly this one, which is the EFI one, which has obviously got the fuel pump and stuff in it. It's a bit of a big brute, but there is something quite distinctive about the tank. I love it and I want to retain that. So and there's a second reason for it as well, and this is also the reason that bleeds into why I'm going to be using the stock frame as the main bulk, and we're just going to be cutting off the subframe and putting a hardtail frame welded on there. And the reason for that is basically, as I said, it's the EFI one. There's the fuel pump and all the gubbins, which if you might have seen in a previous video, or if you've got your own, you know it's a great big lump that lives in here. Now to try and relocate that, if I use a different tank or a smaller tank, is a nightmare, because the whole thing I want to do is go for that strip down. And I kind of quite like the challenge of a fuel injected bike with all the gubbins and making this as kind of open and as beautiful as like a really old Triumph hardtail bobber. There will be compromises, but that's the goal. But yeah, so I love this tank. The fact that the fuel pump and everything is in there just makes my life easier that it's in there. Now also along the backbone of the frame there, I've got lots of things where there's lots of it's the little things that you kind of don't initially think of, little brackets and whatnot, and of course a lot of the wiring goes underneath here in the coils. That's all in place already, so I haven't got to worry about that. I've already relocated things like the ignition switch down here. I mean, think about it, you know, you've got to then, if it's a brand new frame, I've got to think, where am I going to put the ignition switch? And that's just one of many brackets. Obviously front end, all that is going to stay. This I obviously need a headlight, but this is, I quite like that's stripped down enough for me, the front end on that. I'm still going to run this little bobbed guard at the front, that as is. Pretty much all this is where I need it. Obviously the tech exhaust has come off this now, that's on the other Bonnie, so an exhaust will be something I need to work out. I'll have the pod filters exposed. Sadly the battery, the Ram Air battery box, you know, air box elimination kit probably won't get used. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that on the next build, or whether I just end up selling it, or if I modify it for the America maybe. There's a thought. But yeah, we were talking to Joe, and he was a little bit, I mean, he's very much with the aesthetic, you know, you would ideally with a hard, you know, the look of a hardtail frame, you'd want to continue the frame rails along here and back again. You can't really do that. This is where we're going to be coming off for the hardtail, there and then at the top here. So this section here, obviously all this is all going to be going, and the swing arm, but this is where we're going to be coming. So we're going to be keeping as well the foot controls, and this will be slightly changed on this side. The other side I think I can leave as is. But so yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a compromise. When we were talking, we did discuss in depth about, because he does a lovely frame for it, but if I had the car Bonnie, which I have got, I know, but if I was using that, then maybe things would be a bit easier in terms of relocating. But as I say, when we've got the fuel pump and all these other little gubbins, this I think is my most sensible and most achievable kind of goal. So a lot of where I'm going to put stuff is kind of in place. So yeah, it's going to come off here, so I'm going to have a strange little kink on a dog leg there. I'll probably throw up the LC Fabrications one on the Lowbro Custom site, which is kind of the closest in terms of layout which I'm going to go for. But this of course this is going to be a Fenland chopper zone. Joe's going to put his own twist on it as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much why I've decided to keep the stock frame, just lose this section, hardtail that, and that's what's going to happen to this bad boy. So there's lots and lots of things involved, obviously, to go along with, you know, it's the seats, where the battery's going to go. I think I might have a little round oil tank in there for all the electrics to go in. Yeah, I'm just really stoked and really excited about all this. So yeah, that's pretty much the project. Yeah, so this weekend I'm going to strip the bike down. I need to, because basically I need to take the frame up to Joe, and so this kind of, yeah, needs to be all stripped. The whole thing's got to be taken apart, which is pretty, you know, I don't know, will I film it? It's not overly interesting. I might film bits and bobs, show you, but I won't do a step-by-step of tearing the bike down. That's probably a bit dull. And then once this is out of here, and it's all the bits I'm reusing are boxed up and bagged up and and the frame's off, it's going to be about 2 months. He's going to fit it in to get the to jig up the rear, the hardtail section, and to get the work done. And I'll bring that back, and then I'll be able to start building up my rolling chassis in here. In the meantime, I'm thinking as well about, I need to have a good tidy up. It's been a bit mad. I've done a lot of carb rejetting and sorting bits out on the other 2 bikes at the moment, so I need to have a really good clear out in here as well, really tidy up, ready for this next big project. And I'm wondering about having a shift around. I'm trying to think what my best layout is, whether I if I move the bench and the toolboxes and all back into the west wing of the garage, whether I do that and leave this area open, but then we need to get 2 bikes in here and have the project bike. Would it be better to have the project bike over there? But then I haven't got much room to... There's a lot to think about, and that's even before we've even got onto the the bike itself. So yeah, let's take you outside and have a look at the America. I've just got back from work on it, and I'll show you some of the things that, whilst we have a little bit of downtime before the frame gets back from this, I'll hopefully be doing some stuff on the America as well. Right, so here we go. Here is my bike now, and yeah, a few of the things I'm going to do. There's a couple of changes I've made already. I've put my LSL street bar lows on. I prefer those bars. That was a stipulation of mine. What else have I done? Oh, I changed the exhausts. I put these exhausts on, the ones that I was going to have on the other Bonnie, but I've put them on here now. The other ones are looking a bit manky and ratty, and these sound absolutely beautiful. I haven't got the keys on me at the moment, so I can't fire her up, but yeah, you know what it sounds like. But things I kind of want to do, I think because this is going to be all-weather bike, I'm going to sort out some sort of mudguard. I don't know if I'm going to... I've got the stock mudguard, which I've sprayed up with the old Tough Black, so it matches in with these panels. I might keep that on there for really bad weather, but make up a nice alley brace, because this is a bit of an ugly, cumbersome thing done like this. So I need to sort this affair out here. I want to go with a smaller headlight. The other headlight that I was going to use on the Bonneville is going to go on here. But if I do that, I won't have enough room for these lights. So I'm going to make up a small LED kind of bracket thing here to house the idiot lights. I also want to improve the bracket here. This looks a little bit Heath Robinson, a bit kind of crappy. I can't believe I've let that go. So I'm going to have like a whole, try and make a nice console to house the speedo, and then a couple of, you know, the 4 tiny little LEDs. Smaller headlight there. What else? I want to sort out the back end a little bit. It's a bit of a big ugly mudguard. Jen's thrown a load of fuel over this, so I need to Tough Black this so it'll be petrol resistant and looks a bit nicer. But I'm thinking I might chop this a bit. I quite like the curve on it. I don't know, see, it looks quite nice there. Maybe just take a little bit off there, I think. Just a bit off. The eagle-eyed among you will realise that I haven't got any indicators on here. That's because I didn't run any on the other Bonneville. I hadn't got round to putting them on, and then Jen's got it, and I don't want to ride him without indicators. So I'm doing hand signals at the moment, but I need to put some indicators on it fairly soon. And I'm thinking of putting there's some nice little brown seats you can get, more cut down bobber seats, but that's not a major importance at the moment. One thing is though, I do want to sort out the foot pegs. If you remember way back when, this bike, when we got it, came with the running boards, which neither of us really got on with, and the only alternative we had really at the time, because we didn't have any of the original mounting stuff, was to buy the complete sets of these, and the Norman Hind ones came up cheapest. They weren't cheap, they were the cheapest. Ideally, I would love the Free Spirits ones. I don't know if you want to Google those, but they are the nicest looking things going. They're lovely in the black. They have an integrated rear brake master cylinder in them as well. They are just the mutt's nuts. But they also cost about 600 quid, which is insane. So I need to sort something out, because I just do not like these. They're a little bit too far back for my lanky legs. We got the ones which were dropped back for Jen's shorter legs, see if that made things more comfortable. But I want them back in this area here, where the standard, hello puss puss, where the standard pegs would be normally, ideally. These, I think, I mean, these are like 200 and something quid, I think, for the assemblies, and they're all right. They're a little bit, you look at the footrest and the bolts and stuff used, it's a little bit agricultural. The quality, this side's not too bad. The side that really pisses me off is this side. This just looks cheap, and this plate here is rubbish. It just flexes like mad, it bends. The way that this runs out means it makes it a right arse to get the side stand up as well. So there's a lot of little things I don't like about them, so that's on the list to change. I've also rejetted it, opened up the airbox in the back, still got the airbox, but I've opened it up and rejetted it with a 130 main 45 pilot, so I get a little bit of popping, but not the continuous popping, and it's just running a lot nicer, breathing a lot better. And at some stage I am going to want to thin the wiring out. This one's got loads of odds and sods and bits in it, and I want to have a tidy up, but that is all later. Don't want to, but it's running and it gets me to work and from A to B and out on a bike, so it's going to be little by little. But yeah, there we go. That's basically what's happening with the America. Okay, so there we go. That's kind of what's happening in the Cactus Cave, what's going to be happening over the next however many months. Yeah, I'm really chuffed and excited about it all. It's going to be really cool. So it's Friday at the moment. I've not long got home from work. I'm going out to see some friends at the pub in a bit, so I'm going to turn off in a moment. But tomorrow is dedicated to stripping down the Bonnie, because I want to get it up to Wiz Beach next Friday. So really, tomorrow is probably the only day I've got to strip the bike down and have a good sort out. So yeah, I'll probably turn the camera on a little bit here and there when I'm doing it, and probably have a little bit of a gas then. So see you then. Well, Saturday ended up being a bit of a shift around and tidy up in the shed, which I'm glad I did. So I've got everything back in this end now, and that pretty much, well, as you can see, so I've started. It's now Sunday morning, and I'm going out in a little while, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But I've had a good sort of tear down, and we've got the other bikes in here now, and there she is. It's as far as I've got at the moment. A couple of hours at it, so I'm pretty much down to get the swing arm off, and then yeah, then it's really just get the engine out really. So yeah, so most of the stuff's out of the way, but I'm gonna have to start bagging and tagging and putting everything up. But yeah, it didn't take very long actually to get to that stage, which is quite nice. So happy days, happy days. Looks so bare, but love it. Okay, so that's the first part of the Hardtail project for the Bonneville, and I'm not sure what's going to kind of come up for the second part, whether there will be a second part before the frame gets cut. I might try and get some pictures of that as well for a video, but we'll just have to see how things progress. But yeah, Sunday now, I'm going to try and get the bike, sorry, the frame. Well, try and get the engine out tonight when I come back, and but I'm going to put this video up now to get it uploaded because I won't have time later. And then yeah, try and get the frame up during the week. Probably going to be Friday, to be honest. But yeah, happy days. It's quite an exciting project. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.